Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Kefaris. After a long wait, we finally got the 4th Harbinger Arlecchino as playable. Ever since her first look came out, we all have been excited to add her to our account's DPS list. But here comes a challenger against Arlecchino's banner with the same element and insane DPS capability. That is Lyney, Arlecchino's lovable son. Many people skip Lyney's first banner only for Hydro Archon Furina. Will we do it again? The question is, who will your right choice to make up for the lack of Pyro DPS in your account? Today we will try to understand this matter gradually. First of all, let's talk about Arlecchino's playstyle and DPS capability. She is a 5-star Pyro main DPS unit that cannot be healed by anyone other than herself. Her whole kit revolves around Bond of Life, which used to be mechanic that absorbs healing indicated by the red bar around your HP bar. She is using this red bar to buff up her damage. With every attack you do, you basically drain her red bar. The healing amount of her burst also depends on how much red bar you still have left. Good for her that her burst ability actually resets to cool down her elemental skill, so you can use her elemental skill once again to get Bond of Life and bonus damage. If you are used to having a healer, this is gonna change with Arlecchino, since she is better off with a shielder or somebody who buffs up her damage even more. Now let's try to understand her rotation and playstyle step by step. She is a normal attack DPS with lots of Bond of Life, and her Bond of Life is completely controlled by her elemental skill. Her skill inflicts blood depth mark on enemies, and when Arlecchino herself absorbs the blood depth mark given to the enemies, she gains this Bond of Life. There are several steps to exploit this Bond of Life, which I am describing one by one. A charge attack is performed immediately after using her skill. She will gain 65% Bond of Life of her total HP. But if given 5 seconds after using her elemental skill, the blood depth mark on the enemies will mature. Then if Arlecchino performs charge attack, she will get 130% Bond of Life, which is maximum. On the other hand, if the enemy dies immediately after using the elemental skill, she will immediately gain 130% Bond of Life. And other way is, if she has multiple enemies in front of her, then she will get 130% Bond of Life even if she charge attack immediately after using elemental skill. When using her elemental burst, she removes her Bond of Life and heals herself. This is pretty simple. Arlecchino can be placed in all of our popular Pyro DPS teams. Now let's talk about Lyney. He is a charge shot DPS who works well in Mono Pyro team, using his level to charge well summon a Malkin hat that would taunt surrounding enemies. Additionally, if his HP is more than 60%, Lyney will drain 20% of his health to generate a surplus stack, which increases his skill damage and self-healing effects. That maximal stacks you can have 5, and Lyney's HP drain will not occur if his HP falls below 60%. The summoned hat has a 4-second duration and, as mentioned, will taunt enemies. When the hat is disappeared, either because it was destroyed or when the duration ends. You can only have one hat on the field unless you get Lyney's first constellation. Now when using the skill, it will consume all surplus stacks and do insane damage to enemy in front. On top of dealing damage, you will also heal his HP. If there's a Malkin hat on the field, it will explode when using his elemental skill, dealing damage equal to the pyro technique shots. When using his elemental burst, Lyney transforms into a Malkin cat that hits enemy once upon contact. When the burst ends, he will deal a final AoE attack and summon a Malkin hat while also gaining 1 surplus stack. His burst has a 3-second duration, but you can end this early by pressing the skill. Now what makes Lyney a powerhouse would be his F4 passive. When dealing damage to enemy affected by Pyro, Lyney's basic attack increased by 60%. And by having another Pyro characters, the boost will increase by 20% for each other unit with a max buff of 100%. This means you need 2 other Pyro characters, not include Lyney, to maximize his F4 effect. So Lyney will usually stick with Mono Pyro build. Now this doesn't mean he can't be placed in wave or mill teams. But just know that Lyney has first Pyro application, so if you are putting him in those teams, make sure other element has high consistency. So how does Arlecchino compare to Lyney, and who is better for you? To be honest, it really comes down to how you want to play. Lyney is a powerhouse. He is pretty free to play friendly and relatively easy to play as well. He is pretty forgiving in rotations as long as you don't get knocked out of your charge attack. But her teams are particularly restrictive. He is very good when fighting one enemy or multiple enemies. So deciding between Lyney and Arlecchino, not really a discussion about who is the best damage dealer because they are both very good. What it comes down to is your preferred. Do you want a little bit more freedom for movement range, a little bit of leniency on rotation, and a good mix of single target and AoE potential? Well, Lyney is for you. But if you preferred a character request more micromanagement with upside of lots of damage and a ton of opportunities for skill expression, but with the risk of being very squishy, Arlecchino is better choice for you. So who you gonna pull for in patch 4.6? Let me know in the comment section. We will meet again in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care. Peace out.